Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Hearts of Iron 4, and we are going to be playing as the Italian Federation. We are an authoritarian democrat nation. We have the decentralized states, which is minus 0.2 daily political power gain, and also divided nation, which is national unity reduction. Any of these changed? No, they haven't. Good. So, basically the story with the Italian Federation is we are a federation of the various city-states within Italy. Basically the country fragmented after the First World War, and they recoalesced around the Pope, basically. And that is the situation that we are in now. And of course, Hearts of Iron 4 has now crashed. I can't get anything right. So, a bit more of information. In 1919, Italy collapsed under the Central Powers' offensive, and the combination of anger at Italy's betrayal and the Austrian desire for a divided Italian peninsula led to a federation of autonomous duchies, nominally headed by the Pope, being established. A group of radical cardinals, aided by Pope Pius XI, has recently pushed for the centralization and expansion of papal power and control over the federation. However, the Holy See must face up to several challenges facing its new power, ranging from the now demonized syndicalist regimes to the south and the west of the Federation, to the very upset Austrians to the north. So we can, in fact, re-establish the monarchy. Considering how much I enjoy playing empires, that's probably what we'll do. We can adopt a new constitution, which I think is like a republic, or initiate the Risorgimento, the rival syndicalist government to the south, is exposed and weak. Now is the time to strike. So that is a CB, basically, against those guys. Cool. So we're playing that. We are playing on veteran, as is normal. We're not changing any of the numbers, because that doesn't really seem to play well with Kaiserreich, I have noticed. Yes, I am just starting. Hey, Sparrowhawk. Yeah, I'm around like 5 days a week nowadays, so there's definitely an opportunity to catch me online. So, we are the Italians. We have got the Initiative Risorgimento, peaceful. That's only if Socialist Republic of Italy becomes a democracy, which I'm going to assume is unlikely. And then this is incorporating the south, building up defences, or joining the Entente. Oh no, that's a different one. Interventionism does not have the national spirit, decentralised state. When do we get that? Probably this one. Yeah, remove national spirit, divided nation. So we need to reincorporate the south somehow, and that's going to mean a war against them. In fact, except for war preparations, funding the Air Force and the Mediterranean Navy, that is the only focus that we have available. Although there will be a papal conclave at some point, at which point we will need to get a new pope. And I'm going to try and play this without knowing that that conclave is going to happen soon, because I think it's called when he dies. So I think we're going to try and do war preparations to get a bit more research bonus for doctrines, weapons, and that type of thing, and then hopefully start getting a little bit more industry. Or the Academy of Science, that also sounds good for research time. Anything down here? No. Okay, they do have the continuous focuses. And then over here, Aftermath of Black Monday, that's all the industrial stuff. Cool! So we're going to do what we usually do, and that is building up infrastructure. What are the most productive states? Lombardia and Piedmont, easily. Though Tuscany and Emilia-Romagna are not bad either. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to build up Tuscany. We're going to build up Emilia-Romagna, Piedmont, and Lombardy. In fact, let's do Lombardy first. In fact, let's literally do Lombardy first, because it's an 8 already, and it'll be pretty close. Although we should have a look at the focuses to see if there's anything which expands. Here we go. Savoy, Nice, Anzio, Toscana, Friuli. So we don't want to increase Toscana's above 8. But that's the only infrastructure bonus, I think. So, go back to the infrastructure, go back to this, and just make sure Toscana doesn't add anything. So it's just these three. That should do for now. Free military factories. Let's have a look at our equipment manufacturers and see if we have anything which is outstanding. So it kind of looks like light tanks. Oh yeah, Italian light tanks are pretty good. Medium tanks plus 10, plus 10, plus 5, but that's the only piece. I mean, we could do artillery, motorized, or mechanized. Generally, though, I like beefing up the tanks. And that would be a 25% more soft attack on the tanks. Breakthrough 10, defense 10, hardness 5, max speed 15. Wow, that's going to be some seriously quick light tanks. So I think we're going to go for Fiat and Alfa Romeo. In terms of aircraft, that's rather good aircraft. Just for the fighter manufacturers, and that also lumps in heavy fighters. You can get fighter construction cost. Bombers, not as good. Or ships. We are Italy, so Navy is going to be pretty important. Actually having armor and anti-air, extra cruiser strength, is extremely strong, because that's generally what I use the cruisers for. I don't much care about those. So I'm thinking light cruisers and battle cruisers, or light cruisers and battleships, one of those. Question is, will the Pope ride a tank wielding a mace? Yeah, while shouting out, "Drive me closer! I want to hit them with my mace!" One of my favourite memes. Fun part of watching the stream is I can wave at my future me watching on YouTube. So hello, Fiddler's Reach. In the future. Or the past. Oh. Hi. Yeah, we're definitely going with light tanks. I'm kind of tempted to go with the Navy rather than the Air Force. So, how good is our Navy right now? 51 ships, it's not terrible, though we only have 2 battleships, 6 heavy cruisers, so we definitely have a cruiser high fleet, plus some submarines, which I never really rate. One of these days I'm going to have to do a focus on submarines game, just to see if I am actually right about how much I hate them. And then you guys need to band together. So, one of the things that we could... no, because I was going to say one of the things we could do is go for an early war against socialists, but that would put us at war with the French, and we don't think that we want to do that until they're at least fighting the Germans. Plus, I'm aware that Austria will be striking at us at some point. So what I am thinking is I'm going to grab all of my mountain guys in one army. I'm just going to position you here with a focus to take that, and that's just to build up the planning preparation. And then you guys, I mean everyone honestly is just going to be in training. You guys can split in half. Half of you on the south against the Italians, because I don't trust you. And then the other half up here in the north, facing the French, except you're going to have to do this in multiple little tiny little armies because of the stupid way the Alps are done. I don't really like the way they've done the Alps now. So do that, do that, do that. Right, that didn't work at all. So I think I'm going to have the militia, you two, up here. Only need one here. One, need two down here, and then you are also up there. Right, yeah, that's worked. Okay, good. Generals. Do we have any good generals? Messe is very good. Tank general. Filberto Duca di Pistoia. Oh, I wish he was Pistoia. It's not bad. So we have some pretty good tank generals, which makes sense because we're going to have very, very good tanks too. So I think we should start building some tanks just to get them out a little bit early. Earlier certainly than we often do. We'll get some regular guns, some support, mechanized artillery. I think we're actually going to do something like that, and like that. We'll get a little bit of everything. We're a bit low on oil and rubber, but so be it. Dockyards. We have got a grand total of 2 free dockyards. We get tier 2 battleships already. This is going to take forever to build, but go ahead. And we'll put you in the Federale Italiana. Yes. And I'm going to rename you submarines just so I know who you are. Cool. Oh, speaking of which, I should really name units after people. So let's grab these and my list. Right, who have I not named anything after for a while? Let's get you guys. I need to give you a different colour. I'll make you yellow. You can be the Schmidty army. Which is you. Then Mr. Thompson. You can be the special forces. And I might actually focus on special forces more than I often do. That's an interesting idea. And then, sure, horned panda as well. There we are. Alright, good stuff. And I will need to give you generals, but we'll worry about that later on. Marvellous. See, armoured knights equals tanks. Keep an eye on the southern Italian nation. They can do a focus to go to war with us, and they will call in the French. Okay, good to know. Research. I'm pretty sure we will be going with the standard research opening. Except I then click on the wrong piece. The Italians do not get much technology, and they don't start with much either. And then the focus, which we were going to go with the war preparations, I think. Like so. Marvellous. Bump up the speed. Thank you, Kaiserreich. Great job. Want to know everything. Go. Ooh, Air Force. A couple of fighters. Well, we'll leave them as is. I mean, we have a bit of manpower to play with at the moment. What do the companies look like? The companies look ridiculous. We have some very, very strong light tanks. So, soft attack, max speed, breakthrough, soft attack, defense, hardness. So we'll be going with the light tanks. We'll be going with the cruiser manufacturer for the extra armor and anti-air on the cruisers. And probably the CRDA for the extra battleship abilities. Or we could go cruiser and one of the fighters. In fact, I might do that. I might go cruiser with this anti-air Assaldo. And I could actually do a combo of light and heavy cruiser then. Which gives me great anti-air, which in the Mediterranean is very useful. Because naval bombers are a serious thing. And then maybe the Regian for the air attack, agility and range on the fighters. Those are strong bonuses. I think I'll probably do that. Then the weapons manufacturer, we have soft attack and defense, and soft attack and breakthrough. We'll probably go defense. And do we have an industrial? Yes, we do. So the first one we'll get is Danieli for the industrial company. Do we have motorized or maneuver people? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. We have 3 maneuvers. Marvellous. And just imagine a Fiat with a tank cannon on top. Well, Fiat was a tank producer. Assassination of Kerensky. Fair enough. What was the other negative? Decentralized state. How do we deal with that? Or is that just after the conclave? That's probably after the conclave. And then we will need to think quite seriously about which of them to get. Which is the one that allows you to restore the monarchy? This one. So we'll probably go for Stephen. Welfare, industrialization, crushing them, power to the people. You sound like the democratic? No, you are the socialists, okay. Pope Julius the IV. You are the Papal Knights. What would you be? Liberals? I guess, if we're doing corporativism. Yeah, you'd be the market liberals. And then Pius over here, the 11th would be authoritarian? National populist? Oh, that removes decentralized state. That one removes decentralized state. Okay, which one does this one? Corporate. Centralize the state, oddly enough, removes decentralized state. Okay, so there are ways around it. Gonna lurk a bit and play some Elite Dangerous. That's one game I've always kind of been looking at, curiously, but never really got into. Edward VIII is crowned. It seems like a really, well, not exactly a time sink, but certainly one that you need to invest a lot of time in. Hazelpuk, thank you very much for the follow. And Amelie, and Infinite Realm, and Chryses, and Rystar. Thank you all for the follows, I appreciate that. Quadragesimo. Quinto Anno, Latin for in the 45th year, is a new encyclical encyclical written by Pope Pius XI, that discusses the ethical implications of the social and economic order, 45 years after Leo XIII's Rerum Novarum encyclical. Wow, these words are hard. The encyclical describes the major dangers for human freedom and dignity arising from the unrestricted capitalism and syndicalism, calling for the reconstruction of the social order based on the principle of solidarity and subsidiarity. In the first part, he reviews and applauds the encyclical of his predecessor, which helped the development of a new social conscience. According to Pius XI, 3 elements determine a fair wage: the worker's family responsibilities, the economic condition of the enterprise, and the economy as a whole. The family has an innate right to development, but this is only possible within the framework of a functioning economy and sound enterprises. For this, Pope Pius concludes that solidarity, not conflict, is a necessary condition. The Pope, therefore, demands more solidarity, especially between employers and employees, through new forms of cooperation and communication among Catholic citizens. A new era of Catholic corporativism is just beginning. That doesn't actually sound unreasonable. Alright, so we have got the Division Fanteria, the fantasy divisions. I have no idea if that's what it means. Which are just combat with 18. Then we have the Fanteria 2s, which have artillery. Division Alpera, which are actually pretty decent. Small, but we can beef them up, plus artillery. And then the militia. Do we start with a deficit of guns? No, but we don't really start with a big shortage. I mean, we're losing guns right now because we are training everything. My thinking is that we want to train you guys as Fantera 2s straight out the gate. No, Fanteras. Because I don't know how many artillery we're actually going to have. What? Oh, whoops. You. New unit. Fantera. There we go. And the other thing I want to do is for the 2s, because you are the artillery, you get the artillery icon, and we get to see how many of them we have. 1, 4. Okay, it's not terrible. Hey, Charles. Alright, good stuff. So the French are gathering on our borders, so are the Austrians. India's gone into the Anglo-Afghan War. Austria, what are you doing? No national focus. Travailleurs elected in France, coming to France, the world's leading syndicalist nation. Replacement of the disgruntled Marceau Pivert arose from his own faction, the Travailleurs, who now hold the leading position in the CSP. They stand for an extension of democracy and draw inspiration from the British to decentralise the commune. That makes them less aggressive, I think. Oh, we have a big shortage of oil. Probably because we're building the battleships too, and the motorised. We're going to need a lot of oil. This is going to be a very oil-hungry economy. Sure, we'll get it from the US. Don't like using factories this early on, but I think in this case it's worthwhile. Almost 2 weeks ago, the Berlin Stock Exchange plunged into bottomless debt, throwing Germany's economy into an unprecedented crisis. Now the crash's shockwaves have reached the Italian Federation. German and Austrian-owned companies are closed down or laid off their workers. The Italian lira is losing its value, and industrial exports are shrinking. That doesn't sound good. Downfall and stability. Oh, okay. No oil for us then. Which means these battleships are going to be built 1 every 8 years, roughly. And we're not building any tanks, so we may as well just cancel the tank production. Do we literally have no civilian factories? We have literally no civilian factories. The people expect 70% of our total number of factories to produce consumer goods. That's ridiculous. Conte Stefano, Giastici, and Theodore Cardinal Inenza. Are you guys rubbish? Political power. Happy amateur. Yeah, not good. Decryption. That one's acceptable. Construction speed, research time, factory output. That's reasonable. Daily political power, consumer goods factory, resource gain, production, recruitable population, factory output 20%. He's actually pretty decent. Prince of Terror. Okay, and then we have no intel minister. Fair enough. Oh god, those malices. Doesn't Africa have oil? Hint, hint. Yeah, Africa does have oil. And being Italy, we are definitely interested in it. In particular, Tripolitania, which is a rightful part of Italy in this game. Right, so war preparations are almost complete. Pius XI is still alive. And in the meantime, I will celebrate Ow! The weakening of Italian economy by pouring tea from a very hot teapot. This is always kind of the highlight at the beginning of these streams. The pouring of the tea. It is a holy ceremony practiced by many Italian popes. From Duce Grey, because I don't know what Earl is in Italian. Initza is better as a head of state. Ow, 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 ow. This teapot is hot! Ow! I never learn. Right, national focus is complete. We have got war preparations. Kind of tempted not to take one for a little while, just so we can get the political power above. Well, actually, we're not producing anything anyway. Screw it. May as well. Academy of Science, go. We are still earning 0.08 per day. I thought the popes had laudanum. Maybe. Father Charles Coulin. 3 years ago from today, Father Charles Coulin started doing weekly a radio broadcast in America. And more than 50 million people turned on their radios and listen. He is a raving anti-Semite, claiming that the syndicalist revolution in France was fomented by the Jew, and that the Berlin stock market crash an international conspiracy of Jewish banners, and somehow people still tune in. His hate speech will not be tolerated by the Church, and the Pope is expected to make a decision whether to ask the United States government to shut down his broadcast so his hateful message cannot reach the public. Yeah, of course. We have no time for such people. Okay, so we are actually producing... Oh no, we're still in a shortage of guns. First International Congress, that is unfortunate. You are actually almost fully trained. Do I want to waste resources? Unfortunately, you're this army, and I've already assigned you to locations. So we're just going to hold off. We'll let you do your thing. Uh-oh. All of the Italian Federation mourns the death of His Holiness, Pope Pius XI, who passed away in his sleep after having been in declining health for the past several years. The Holy Father will soon be interred with the rest of his predecessors in the tomb of the popes. Until the next pope can be chosen, the Italian Federation will be ruled by a college of cardinals in Rome. The succession of His Holiness is made all the more important due to the Catholic Church's role in governing the nation, as well as its vehement opposition to syndicalism, a force which has divided Italy and created the Southern Breakaway Republic. So College of Cardinals becomes the new leader, and we get a consumer goods factories increase, but also political goods. Don Luigi Storzo. So we need to get the Academy of Science done as soon as possible, though it does increase our research time, and then get the call the Papal Conclave, which gives us a bunch of political power. Hopefully the Carlist win in Spain, the Mediterranean bloc, can actually be a thing. You know what? That is something I should support. So when the Spanish Civil War happens, if I'm in a position to do so, I will send them some troops. Electronic mechanical engineering, good. Let's go and get the mechanical computing. Hello to Croatia. Is this going to be on YouTube? This one will be, yes. Okay, so we have bypassed it because Austria has interfered. Austria is insisting on the installation of Giuseppe de Toscana as King of Italy, interfering with the papal election. Julius IV is not the one I wanted. He's the battle pope, isn't he? Yes. Does this mean I just don't get to choose? So this makes us a puppet, which I don't really want to do. Although it does restore the monarchy, which was one of my stated goals. The papacy under Initza resists the papal conclave. Or we get Initza proclaims Giuseppe as king. I think we've got to resist. I mean, just going as a puppet is kind of boring. It's annoying though, because I really did want to get Stephen. Damn you, Austria! Yeah, we're going to go with Julius then, I guess. No, I'm not going to reload. It's fine. Austria apologises, though we were ready for an invasion. What has occurred is quite the opposite. An envoy from Austria has expressed apologies for from Karl I von Habsburg-Lothringen to His Holiness for any offence, and states he will fight to protect our independence in the years to come. So that whole thing was for nothing? You changed the person I have in power for no reason?